one of the standards we studied closely was the technical writing standard, right? So who can tell me one thing that you get evaluated for doing on the technical writing standard?
At STEM School Highlands Ranch, Michelle Vitale's 9th grade English class is doing a peer review workshop as part of an assignment where they are writing a short story. But at the same time, she's teaching them how standards-based learning, or SBL, will play into the assignment, where traditional grading is adapted to a model where students are better able to track their progress.
So if you look at the right-hand side, it says, write your story, give and receive feedback, and revise and edit your story using technology.
STEM is in the preliminary stages of rolling out the SBL model. This school year, teachers are doing the prep work and introducing the idea to students. Next year, it's expected to be fully implemented.
So what you do with prioritizing your standards is you go through your list of standards, you determine what are the most important standards or the key standards that students need to learn, and then the other standards they're called supporting standards, so those will go along in that unit.
While the SBL subcommittee at STEM has not yet decided to move away from the traditional grading system, standards-based learning is something the Colorado Department of Education is encouraging school districts to consider.
Decisions could look different depending on the school. We could have our elementary school using a 4-3-2-1 system, and maybe our middle and high school using A through F system. And that really depends on what the feedback from the teachers. So they will be making some of those decisions along with some guidance from our consultant about best practices.
Vitale says from what she's seen so far, she sees a lot of benefits to the new model of learning and grading.
I definitely think the proficiency ratings are more useful than, the ABCD or 100% grades, because it really shows kids where they're at more than, did they meet all the requirements? Did they check all the boxes?
As the testing phase continues, the SBL subcommittee will discuss the pros and cons of the learning model and will then decide how to best implement it across all grade levels.
Right now, our system is based off of compliance. You have your class, at the end of the class, something is due. But does that really communicate to the student that they have had an opportunity to practice? If a student doesn't have the opportunity to practice and to fail at something, we're sending a message that that student always has to be perfect every single time they attempt a new skill. So instead, what we're trying to do is we're trying to move to a feedback system.
Vitale says she's also seeing a positive response from her students.
As far as the student reception goes, it's still an adjustment period, getting used to the new grading systems, but once they have the time to process the new expectations of them, they seem to respond pretty well, and they definitely seem more engaged in the content. They care more about the learning than the grade.